Hey, so have you ever wondered how some coaches are able to charge, 5,000, 10,000, 50,000, $100,000 or more for their coaching, while other coaches seem to be stuck just barely able to charge a few $100s for, 1 hour sessions or a package of a few sessions per month. And in this video, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be breaking down the 5 things that makes a high ticket coaching offer actually high ticket. So I'm Tyga Rush, and what I do is I help new coaches launch and scale high ticket coaching offers to 6 figures and beyond online. So one of the first factors that you really have to keep in mind is that price actually has no meaning. So you're probably thinking like, well, what do you mean? Because I know definitely when I pay for something, it definitely has a meaning to my back pocket, right? But in reality, when you think about what money is just an agreement. Money is an agreement between two people about a solution. So in other words, in a marketplace, whether you're working at a job, your company that you work at, or your business as an entrepreneur, as a coach, you only get paid. Money only exchanges hands when there is pain, or there is a problem. And money is exchanged for the solution of that problem. So no pain, no problem, no sale. So ultimately, if your job didn't solve a problem in the marketplace, your job wouldn't exist. The company you work for solves a problem at large somewhere, somehow in the marketplace for someone. And there is an agreed upon level of value that is abstract, is inside of the person, the client's mind, and it's inside of the person who's providing the service's mind, where they're going, this problem is very painful and it's worth X amount of dollars. So money is literally an agreement. It's an agreement on the value of the solution in exchange for that pain. And once you understand that, then it makes it simple to start to understand the first factor of the 5 factors that makes a high ticket coaching offer high ticket. And that is the size of the problem that you solve. So that's number one. And what I mean by that is, imagine, if you will, having the problem. Like right now, I have a yard outside. I probably need to go outside and cut the grass and trim the hedges and some bushes or whatever. But that problem is not a problem that's really big to me. So if someone were to come to solve that problem, of course, we're going to make an agreement on how much the pain of that is worth to me to have solved, and it doesn't really rank up there high. And so the agreement would reflect that. Money is just like a scorekeeper of the amount of problem and amount of impact that you're making in the world, in the marketplace. Now imagine instead if I had like a really big problem that was costing me, tons of like time, or tons of money, or it was costing me my relationship, or it was costing me, something like that. It was really a big issue in my life. It really took up a lot of space for me. You wouldn't you think that you would be able to charge a lot more when you're solving a really big problem? So that's number one. Number two, the second factor that influences what makes something high ticket is actually the sophistication level of the problem. So taking the analogy of my grass and my lawn, compare that to if one of my loved ones had a brain tumor, and I know this is so morbid, but they have a brain tumor and they needed brain surgery. So the amount of payday for the person solving that problem would be completely different. The brain surgeon, that's why brain surgeons make so much money, because they have invested years and years and years and tons of skill. They have tons of skill in solving a problem that not just anyone off the street can go solve. It's not just a Me Too type offer where anyone could walk outside and with a lawnmower or even borrow a lawnmower and say, hey, I can solve that problem for you. So then it's more of like a general type thing where the sophistication level is really low to solve the problem, to solve that problem in one case, and the sophistication is really high. So you can charge a premium price because not just anyone can solve that problem. And I mean, you wouldn't just want anyone off the street to come up and offer to take a tumor out of someone's brain that you care about, right? So that's why the second factor is the actual sophistication level of the problem. The next factor, the third factor, is actually the speed at which you can solve the problem for this person. Now, a lot of times the misconception is that you want to add in, like, for some reason, when people think, man, I want to charge a lot of money, that means I need to give a ton of deliverables. I need to give a whole bunch of coaching calls. I need to do PDFs. I need to do spreadsheets and all these things and overwhelm your client. And in reality, this may sound weird, but nobody actually cares about how many calls, how many deliverables, how many, gizmos and gadgets that you give out. What they care about is the actual transformation that you provide. Take an example is if you had an aching tooth, you had a toothache, it was just excruciating, killing you, and you went to the dentist and you're like, I have a problem, I need help. And he's like, okay, well, in his mind, he's like, well, I have a $5,000 tooth extraction offer. So he's like, well, what I got to do is, look, this is what we're going to do. I want to make sure I give you as much value for this $5,000 as possible. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you 2 tours of the office spaces. I'm going to show you all the equipment that I use at a state of the art. I'm going to be showing you, introducing you all to doctors, and we're going to see all where they got their degrees from, and you're going to learn all this stuff, and then we're going to come in for the 3rd visit so that you can do this and do that, and then finally on the 5th visit, what we'll do is we'll extract the tooth, so that way you get tons of all this stuff for your money. And you're probably be thinking like, no, I got to get this out, like this hurts so bad. Now, imagine that same $5,000. Instead, you walked in, you haven't slept in like 2 days because your tooth has been killing you. You had to call in from work, you're missing money, making money at work, or you're just miserable. You're like, Doc, I need some help. He's like, you know what I can do? I can take you back in the office right now. I can extract the tooth. It's barely going to hurt you, and we'll have it out in about 10 minutes. And you can be good to go back at work before lunch. And the cost of it, $5,000. And you think about that tooth, you think about that pain, the size of the pain, the size of that problem, and you can't just go pull it out yourself. And you're like, yeah, I want this done fast. So as you can see, it doesn't actually matter all the stuff you pile into that. That's the tendency, is to try, if you think you want to do high ticket, is they're like, well, I have to give more value, right? So value in a lot of people's minds just means more stuff, like you're just stuffing a grocery bag. But in reality, value equals the severity of the problem that you're solving, the speed at which you can solve it. And then that brings the fourth factor, which is the certainty at which you can solve the problem. So this is where, testimonials come into play. But if you're a new coach, you don't have testimonials. Like, but Tyga, I don't have any testimonials. So how can I do this? So there's other ways. So number one, you can always go out and help someone for free in exchange for a testimonial. That's one quick way to do it. Another is actually tying your result in, or actually tying your payment in with the result. So let's say you were helping someone with their marketing, you were coaching them through their marketing, and you're saying, okay, my fee is $10,000. So what I'll do is $5,000 up front, and then once we increase your sales, your email list, your whatever, by however many percent or by however many dollars, after we get you $100,000 in profit, then at the end of that 8 weeks of this program, then you pay the other $5,000. So that gives a bit of certainty because your payment is wrapped up in the result. So that gives certainty for the other person. There's other ways to create it, such as like risk reversals, like money back guarantees, different things like that allows people to be like, okay, there's the risk has been taken out of it for me. And then the fifth factor is actually, how long has this person been experiencing and struggling with this problem without solution? Because a problem that you just started having yesterday has a different type of weight and value and severity level from a problem that you've been having for weeks or months or years. and you're just like, I've been carrying this heavy burden. If I were to give you a rock right now, or in the military, I was a Marine for 9 years, and one of the things in boot camp, when our basic training, what they did, they would have us hold out rifles up and with our arms straight in front of us, and we would have to just sit there for like minutes and minutes and minutes and minutes. And that like 2 pound, 5 pound, rifle actually started feeling like 100 pounds, 1,000 pounds, unliftable as each second ticked by. So it's like you almost get desperate, like, please just tell me to drop it. Like, this is heavy, this is overwhelming, this is burdensome. So right now, if you have an ideal client who you find a problem in the marketplace that a person has been having for a really long time, and you're able to solve it because they're at their wits' end, it equals a bigger payday. It equals more value in their mind. Because if they just started having the problem yesterday, they could still have in their mind like, well, I could probably try a few other things I haven't really tried yet. So what I'll do is I'll watch a few more YouTube videos. I'll read a few more books. I'll try a few more different things to see if I can get it to work out. So it makes it a lot harder for that person to realize that they really need the help. So those are the 5 factors that goes into making a high ticket offer actually high ticket. And with that being said, if you are struggling also with putting together your offer, meaning like how do you price it, who do you serve, how do you pick what type of coaching to do, I actually have a video that should be linked right above right now that you can click on it, and I show you what actually goes into an irresistible offer and how to price it, what goes into the actual pricing, and how to actually pick the problem that you solve.